Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Don for Don Alpha channel. For the returning subscribers, welcome back. For those who are new here, can you please subscribe somewhere there? The returning subscribers, if you feel this video is interesting to you, can you please click like or comment? If you find like you need to share something, you can share it with us or in the comment section. Feel free to get there and write whatever you feel like writing. Whatever your feedback is very important to us. But anyway, thank you for being here today. We're going to be talking today about entrepreneurship, since everybody nowadays is looking forward to start a business because it's becoming hard and hard with the economy, with the wars happening around the world. So people are looking forward to kind of starting their own businesses so that they can have a better life, have freedom, and just leaving that legacy to your children, when you pass on, because at some point you're going to leave this place anyway, going back to dust to dust, as it's everybody's process. We can't be scared of it. It's normal. It's a normal thing. It's going to just happen. Just like waking up tomorrow is a normal thing, which always happens. So thank you for being here today. I'm very excited to be here, guys. I want to share some information with you guys, which I think can be really helpful, especially when you're starting your businesses. If you're at the beginning of the business and you're looking at what can I do, how can I manage my business, because it's not everybody who comes from a management background, or who comes from a technical background whereby you are taught how to manage people, how to do or even project management, how to run your finances, or how to even lead people. How do you lead people? Some people don't even understand how can they lead people, but they want to be these big entrepreneurs. Or you find yourself at a stage whereby you are having, probably, especially in Africa where you have a lot of land, you have got a lot of probably a simple project like having chicken. You got like 1,000 chicken, you need like 4 people to hire, and you want them to run your project the way you want it. How can you do it? What is the best way you can do, which can help you to run this kind of a business? So back then in Italy, in 1896, a guy called Vilfredo Pareto came up with a principle called the 80-20 rule. Some of you already know it. You'll be like, 80-20 rule, I already know it. But today you're going to simplify it in a way that everybody can understand it and be able to apply it. Because if you just get knowledge and then you don't apply it, it's not knowledge at all. No one knows, it's just an idea in your head. But once you start applying it, that's when it becomes knowledge. That's when it becomes knowledge. Knowledge only is that information you can process and apply. That's when it becomes important to you. So I'll be sharing with you a lot of concepts I have which I've studied. Some of them I've done them at uni. Some of them I'm using them in the field. Some of them, we do a lot of things. It doesn't matter whether you're managing a big project of 36 million or 40 million, or you're managing just a small project of $2,000. $2,000 is a lot of money to somebody else. So what is important? What is important for you to manage this so that you can hit those targets you want? You can achieve those results you have been thinking about, or dreaming, losing sleep of it. Like, if I reach this kind of target, I'll be all right, and then I'll be moving on to another stage. How can you run your business, especially when you're employing other people? It's important for you to understand that when you're employing other people, using the 80-20 rule is the best method you can use. There are other methods you can use, but 80-20 is one of the best methods you can use. Even if you're not employing anybody, if you're running your online business, you can assess your plan in such a way that you are using the 80-20 rule. How do you do that? You understand that when you're talking about 80-20 rule, it's just like 80% of the consequences are caused by 20% of the causes. So there are only 20% causes which can cause 80% consequences. In Italy, Vilfredo found out that 20% of the Italians, especially the Italian men, were owning 80% of the country. Somewhere there, in your country as well, the same system. When you're talking about the powerful men, those women will be talking about, I want that, the man who's powerful, the 20% of men. You're talking about those guys who are, it's only 20% of guys who have got power. Most of the guys, they don't have power. So it's still happening up to today. It's still happening up to today, because when you're looking at everything which is happening, you'll find out that the most powerful people it's just a small gang, a small population, and a lot of people don't have the power. So that's what he found out, that 20% of people in Italy were owning the economy in 1896. That's when he came up with the 20% rule. So how can you apply it on your project or in your business, and how can you use it? So what you do is, let's say you are employing 20 people. That's how I'm going to simplify it to make it easier. You can see that, like, I put a little bit of a drawing there. You have the CEO on top. And then what you do, instead of managing everybody, you will hire like your team leaders, maybe say team leaders or supervisors or whatever title you want to give them, managers, whatever you want to give them. You're going to call them managers of the 4 departments. Whatever department it is, it could be sales, production, it could be procurement, it could be dispatch, dispatching the goods you are making on your company, or anything you want to do. You look at it like you take four supervisors. I'll call them supervisors. 4 supervisors from 4 departments. You break your company into like five groups. You got 20 employees, including these supervisors. So they're gonna supervise 4 other people. They will be the 5th one. So you get 4 groups of 20 people. Instead of you supervising everybody, managing everybody into small details, these supervisors, you give them all those targets, the achievements you wanna reach. It could be quarterly, it could be half a year, or it could be a 3rd quarter, and then you give them all what you want to achieve on these different time schedules or annually. Sometimes some people got different ways of how to measure progress in their companies. Some they can say in the 1st quarter, some they can say half a year, sometimes they can say 6 months, some they're gonna start assess it every quarter. Like where I work, we assess it every quarter. Every 3 months, we'll be having a meeting and talk about the achievements we are reaching, and how we are running everything, what kind of productivity we are doing, what kind of inputs we are using, and all this kind of stuff you just discuss to understand where you are and where you're going. So it's a good thing to use the Pareto system. That's how I find it, the Pareto principle. Because when you're using it, or some call it the Pareto law, they don't even call it a law, law, like you can't break it. You don't have to break it. If you break it, you're screwing up your business. So, in other words, it's like, you tell them these 4, you tell them everything you want from the other four who are just your general employees. So they will go and manage the other general employees, these 4. If you look at the thing which I wrote there, like 5, 5, 5. So the 5th one is the team leader or the supervisor, is the one supervising the other 4. So you don't have to be there all the time. These guys have to get the results you want. There's no need of you going around yelling. Some people just gonna, they're power hungry. When you get on your company, just wanna yell, what have you done? What have you done? Thomas, what have you done? John, what have you done? You don't have to do that. You can call these people into your office and tell them whatever you want. You have a board meeting, you talk to them, you tell them what you expect, or management meeting, tell them what you expect, how they are running things. And it doesn't mean that you surrender your management from them. You'll be managing, but you'll be laid back, watching what they're doing. There's one thing which Warren Buffett always say. He can hire you because of energy, not education. Because sometimes the person with the energy, who's putting the right energy to the company, you can tell that this guy gonna give you the results you want if you teach him well. So that's the same here. If you employ your managers well, your supervisors well, they're gonna run your show the way you want it. They're gonna run your company the way you want it. So you don't have to stress so much about who is doing what, because these guys are reporting back to you. Although you are supervising them or managing them at the background, taking a laid back laid back. When I'm taking laid back, I'm not talking about ignoring the whole process. I'm talking about supervising, but not practically being in front of all your employees. You'll be just watching them, making sure that the goals, when there's any issue, you talk to the supervisor. Don't talk to any chicken jail employee. So that's how the 20-20, 80-20 rule, or some can say 20-80, but it's 80-20 rule is implemented, or the 80-20 principle is implemented. You focus on the people, the management, most of the time. It's the management who manage the lower tier of your employees. You don't have to go around managing like you have 200 people. You have to want to be everywhere. No, you can go around just checking out whatever the managers are implementing, what you said in the meetings. That's what is called management. That is what is important. So if you're becoming an entrepreneur, we want you to succeed, and I want you to be able to implement this 80-20 rule for your own business, because it is important for you to do that and to achieve the results you want. Because it's not easy for you to just jump, changing from being an employee and to become a business owner. Now you have to work with no hours. You're working throughout the day, maybe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because you want your business to be successful. If you lose, you're losing your legacy, you're losing all your money, and then your family will suffer, and probably you won't even have money to use at your house or even for household things. So it's important for you to, when you're starting a business, you understand the principle or which you are using for you to make sure that you are successful. You come up with the project. Let's say you want 20 chickens. This is 20 chickens. I'm just giving an example, because although I know that most of the people who will be listening to me, some of them, they don't use this 20 chicken thing. They are online. They're gonna be doing drop shipping. But I can give it an example on drop shipping as well. I can also give an example which is relevant to my African friends. So you got 20 chickens. You have to assess it. Like, you can start with the outcome of the project when you're planning your business proposal. You start with the outcome of the project. Let's say 20 chickens. So how many feeds do I need? How many vaccines do I need? How many people do I need to feed this chicken? You're planning coming back. That's the execution part of it. And then you go on the planning. So how am I going to do this? Where can I get this? Where can I acquire this? Where can I acquire this? What kind of breed do I want? All these things, you ask yourself the how, the what, the mission, or your targets, and where you want to be. So it is very important. And then when you come back to the planning stage and the initial stage, you can now brainstorm, but you know the outcome of what you want to achieve. The Pareto principle is very, very important especially for beginners. When you manage to implement it properly, it will be the system you can use throughout your business. It doesn't necessarily mean that when you are doing that, or when you are selling chickens only, especially when you're doing drop shipping, you can also target how many products do I want to buy? Where am I buying them? Who's my supplier? How reliable are they? You do your market research on the way you want to distribute your goods. Which warehouse is going to hold my goods before they are purchased? Am I just buying straight from the customer and send it straight to the consumer, or I'm buying them, store them in a certain warehouse, and then we'll ship them from the warehouse? It's all these concepts. How fast is it from buying it from the producer straight away and going to the client? So you'll be just an intermediate person. How am I going to do all this appropriately and without having long delays? Because people want their products nowadays. Yeah, with all the systems which are working in the world, people want to receive their products as fast as possible. So on every business you're doing, 80-20 rule can be used. You still assess what could be the causes of my failures on this business, to avoid those 80% consequences. Because if you don't assess what are the most priorities you're supposed to focus on, it will be certain that you will dive into 80% of the consequences, the problems you meet That's why I'll be like, oh, it's hard to start your own business, guys. Because people don't have a proper plan. They don't have the proper means. They don't have a certain system of how you're going to carry out things and how you are carrying out things. And even the exit plan from your employment. How am I going to exit, to leave my job, to say that now I'm ready to be a full-time entrepreneur or business person? How are you going to do that? It's something you have to sit down and plan properly. These are the 20% causes of your failure. Lack of planning. There's an African proverb which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So you have to go as a team. Don't leave your team. But your team consists of different levels, management levels. That's where you need those managers to be close to you so that you ensure that they are doing the right thing you are expecting. You don't have to worry when you have the right people in your company. You don't have to worry about, today I slept away, so my company doesn't work. That's the mentality of a sole trader. That limits your growth. If you want to grow, you need a team. You need people to hire people who can do things you want. You assess them to make sure that they achieve those standards you want. There's something called the SI standards, the international standards. In construction or in civil works, we'll be having like a SI standard 30, 100 or 20, 30. There's so many SI standards you can use for you to make sure that you have a structure which is stable, which is not going to crack, which is not going to kill people, which is not going to have any stability issues or material problems, the shear and torque and all these kind of forces which can cause the building to fall. So you make sure that you use the standards. So the same standards, that's the standards you're supposed to impart on your management system, on your management people. Those 4 people you choose from that teams of 5. You tell them exactly what you want. They shouldn't do it in some way, assuming or not knowing this. We don't have a protocol of how to do this, so I just did it in a certain way. It shouldn't be like that. There should be a structure of how to solve everything. It could be a conflict. It could be an employee who's misbehaving. How does he get fired? Is he a permanent person? Is he a casual worker? Because you need to treat people with respect as well to get the results you want. Warren Buffett, as I told you before, he always employed the people with energy, with the right energy towards work. Because you can see some people are not educated, but they have the right energy. So if you teach them properly, they will be the one who will be excelling because it's inborn. Some of these things are inborn. Because he always mentions this, that it's very hard for you to work with a person who's very educated but very lazy. Because he always has this idea of how to defend himself. But contrary to that, Elon Musk says, lazy engineers create beautiful products. Why? Because they want to find the shortest way, the shortcuts to do it. They don't want to spend their whole day trying to design, coming up with a different formula or trying to use this formula and merge it with this other formula, So they find a simplest way of doing it and making sure that it works. So so it differs. But I prefer the energy as well. I prefer the energy. I prefer to those employees who will be having a lot of energy, who are showing that they are dedicated, who are there probably 20 minutes early. They are running out errands as a team leader or as a supervisor. They are already seeing what they're going to do throughout the day. They are already setting up everything. So when you're working with that person, even if you're a manager, you feel comfortable when you're getting there because you know the person is already prepared and is always on point. So if there's anything you want to correct them or to show them, to guide them, even to teach them, you teach him knowing that this guy has got the right energy for the job. So the 80-20 rule is about also identifying people who can do the right work with the right energy, which will also influence, when there's one person with the right energy, it will influence other people who are also on that company. So to me, it's very, very important to understand the 80-20 rule. You don't have to be managing everybody. You don't need to be every department. If you work with the team will produce great results. If you work with them well, impart the right attributes to them, they will produce great results. So for today, as you are starting your entrepreneur journey, I am encouraging you to look at the 80-20 rule and how you can implement it. That's what I brought to you today. I don't have anything more to share, but because sometimes it sounds like it's a repetition because we are talking about one concept, but I want to make sure that it's easier to simplify it, you understand it, and how to apply it properly on your businesses and in your life. So with that, I will meet you on the next one. Thank you for being here today. Can you please subscribe on this channel so that you'll be able to hear some of the things which we have in store for you and which I will be bringing for you guys. I think I'll plan it in a better way rather than what we are doing right here, because we are at the beginning of our process of being here online. We'll be here forever, man. We'll be talking together. So when I build a team here whereby you guys will be helping me telling me, not helping me, but telling me the concept. I'll help you help me as well. You can tell me the concept, so you can give me a feedback of whatever you think is important. It can be important for us to build a better channel. That would be great. Okay, thank you for today, for being here and watching my video. See you on another one. Ciao.